Hey there, folks. Tonight we're diving into a topic that might seem like a relic of the past: slavery. Yeah, that thing your history books called brutal and inhumane. We're talking shackles, forced labor, and the whole shebang. You might think, John, that's ancient history, right? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because things are about to get uncomfortable. We like to believe we've moved past such barbaric practices. We've got fancy phones, self-driving cars kind of, and can order pizza with a single emoji. Progress, baby. But what if I told you that the ghost of slavery still haunts us, disguised in a way that might surprise you? Stick around, because tonight we're exposing the uncomfortable truth about modern-day slavery, hiding in plain sight, disguised as your friendly neighborhood 9-to-5 job. Ah, the 9-to-5 grind. The daily hustle that keeps the lights on and the avocado toast flowing. We wake up to the sound of an alarm, drag ourselves to work, stare at screens for 8 hours, and then come home, exhausted, only to repeat it all again the next day. It's the circle of life, corporate edition. We're told it's the price we pay for a comfortable life, a piece of the pie. But is it really just a fair trade-off, or are we being sold a bill of goods? Hold on to your ergonomic chairs, folks, because we're about to unpack this beast of burden and see what makes it tick. Back in the good old, terrible days of actual slavery, people were literally owned. Their time, their bodies, their very existence belonged to someone else. Now, I know what you're thinking, John. I clock in and out, I get paid, I can quit whenever I want. I'm no one's slave. And on the surface, you'd be right. But let's dig a little deeper, shall we? How much control do you really have over your own time? Sure, you can quit, but can you afford to? Can you really say no to that extra project, that unpaid overtime, that soul-crushing commute? The chains might be invisible, but they're there, subtly binding us to a system that demands our time and energy, leaving little room for anything else. Let's talk numbers, people, because nothing screams reality check like cold, hard statistics. In the 18th century, slave owners got rich off the unpaid labor of millions. They hoarded wealth while their workforce toiled endlessly, receiving nothing but misery in return. Fast forward to today, and we see a similar pattern emerging. CEOs rake in obscene salaries, bonuses larger than our entire retirement funds, while the average worker struggles to make ends meet. Wage stagnation, anyone? The gap between the haves and the have-nots is wider than a canyon, and guess who's stuck at the bottom? We're told it's just how capitalism works, but let's call it what it is. Exploitation, plain and simple. Remember that the next time you see a billionaire launching themselves into space while you're struggling to afford gas. Section 5. The human cost more than just numbers. Here's the thing about exploitation. It doesn't just drain your bank account, it drains your soul. Slavery, in all its forms, takes a devastating toll on the human spirit. Imagine the emotional and psychological impact of being treated like a cog in a machine, your dreams and aspirations sacrificed at the altar of productivity. And it's not just our minds that suffer. Our bodies bear the brunt of this relentless grind too. Stress, anxiety, burnout, and a whole host of physical ailments are the price we pay for participating in this system. We're working ourselves sick, literally, and for what? So that someone else can buy another yacht? It's enough to make you want to scream into the void, or, quit your job and live off the grid. But let's be realistic. Section 6. Breaking free, a glimpse of hope. Now, before you go full on office space and take a printer to your cubicle, let's take a breath. It's not all doom and gloom, folks. There's hope yet. All around the world, people are waking up to this reality. They're questioning the status quo, demanding better treatment, and seeking alternative ways of living and working. The Great Resignation, the rise of remote work, the 4-day workweek movement. These are all signs that people are no longer content to be treated like disposable cogs in a machine. They're demanding more autonomy, more flexibility, more respect. The fight for a more just and equitable work-life balance is gaining momentum, and that's something worth fighting for. Section 7, you've got the power reclaiming your time. So what can we do about it? Well, the first step is recognizing the problem for what it is. We've been conditioned to accept this system as just the way things are, but it doesn't have to be this way. We have power, folks. We have the power to choose where we work, how we work, and how much of ourselves we're willing to give to a job. We can demand better pay, better benefits, and better treatment. We can support businesses that prioritize their employees' well-being, and we can vote with our wallets by refusing to patronize companies that exploit their workers. Section 8. It's time for a change, a call to action. This isn't just about us, folks. It's about the future. Do we want to leave behind a world where our children are destined to repeat the same cycle of workaholism and burnout? Or do we want to create a world where work is a source of meaning and fulfillment, not just a means to an end? It's time to challenge the narrative that our worth is solely determined by our productivity. It's time to redefine success on our own terms. It's time to reclaim our time and our lives. The revolution won't be televised, folks. It will be fought in break rooms, in voting booths, and in the quiet moments when we choose to prioritize our own well-being over the demands of a system that doesn't have our best interests at heart. Section 9. Imagine a world. A better future is possible. Imagine a world where people aren't chained to their desks, where work-life balance isn't a pipe dream, and where everyone has the opportunity to pursue their passions without sacrificing their health and sanity. It might sound like a utopia, but it's a future worth striving for. It's a future where the ghost of slavery is finally laid to rest and where everyone has the freedom to live a life of dignity and purpose. So let's get to work, folks. The future is waiting. Is